Your financial future could be at risk and you may not even know it. There are 6 building blocks that make up your financial house, and if you don't know what these building blocks are, where you stand, and what to do to strengthen them, you could be crumbling your financial house. But don't worry, we're going to tell you what these 6 building blocks are so you can start to increase your awareness about what these building blocks are, where you are in each one, and what you can do to avoid risk, to avoid problems, so that you can build what's called an unbreakable financial house, and you can create the life that you truly want to live and make the impact that you truly want to make.
We're Martin and Chelsea Matthews, and we help people increase their knowledge so they can have more certainty and awareness on the subject of finances, so you can no longer be uncertain in any area of your finances you're trying to handle. So Chelsea's going to go over the first 3 building blocks of your financial house, and I'm going to go over the next 3. We're going to tie it all together so you understand what the 6 building blocks are of your financial house. That includes your personal finances, and if you're a business owner, your business finances as well.
Okay, so building block number 1, this is cash flow. This is vital because it makes all the other building blocks run. So you've got to get this one right. This is the money coming in and out of your household or your business if you're a business owner. Here are some key problems and risks that people face and go wrong in this building block. Number 1 is not tracking what is coming in and going out. Okay, there's a rule called income must be greater than outgo plus reserves. And if you don't know where your money's going, or you don't know how much is coming in, then you have no control over it. So you got to be tracking your cash flow and knowing what is happening with it so you can be in control with it. The other problem that people face, this is especially with high income earners, is having excess money. You're like, the money's coming in, it's great, we pay our bills, everything is taken care of, but we don't know what to do with this extra money. I feel like it's wasting. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to trust. I don't know where to put it. I don't know how to make my money grow. Okay, so those are some of the things that we help people to solve in their financial house. Building block number 2 is debt management. Okay, here's the thing to know and be aware of when it comes to debt. And everybody has their own opinions when it comes to debt. Be debt free. Debt is evil, okay? But here's what you need to know. We like to give you the facts. We don't give you opinions. We give you the facts so that you know what is available and you can make the best decision for yourself. So when it comes to debt, there is good debt and there is bad debt. Good debt puts money in your pocket, like real estate investment, or somebody is paying the mortgage for you, right? Bad debt is shopping on credit cards and not paying it off and letting the interest charge up. So you're paying more than the thing you bought actually is. It's not that you shouldn't ever have bad debt, okay? You don't need to be debt free and go crazy. Here is some things that people go wrong. Is you got to know what kind of debt you're taking on, okay? Is it putting money in your pocket? Is it taking money out of your pocket? Is it putting you at financial risk? Or is it making your financial house stronger? And some people get confused when it comes to debt and they try to pay it all off and they put all their extra money. And then what happens if some opportunity comes or some emergency comes and you need that money and you can't get it? So it's not about one way to always do it or not do it. It's about looking at your financial situation and knowing what is the right decision to strengthen your financial house, to put you in a stronger financial position and not at financial risk. So these are some of the things that we help our clients to increase certainty to know what is the right move for you. And building block number 3, this is reserves. Okay, this is having money set aside for the unexpected. We don't call it emergency fund because you think about emergencies, you're gonna have more emergencies. So it's reserves. You're building up reserves. And let me tell you what, there was this thing called a worldwide pandemic where the world shut down, and very high income earners who didn't have any money set aside and their income stopped, they were screwed, right? They were financially destitute. So this is about putting yourself in a stronger financial position so that you can handle anything that comes your way no matter what. Okay, so there's some specific things to do if you're not already putting aside reserves, but this is something you want to have your money set aside completely separate from any of your other money and be continually building those reserves. And then once you get it up to a certain amount, that's when we can really look at, okay, let's put this money to work safely. safely. That's the key. All right. Those are the first 3 building blocks. Martin's going to tell you about the other 3 ones.
So the next building block is proper protection. This is making sure you have your assets, including yourself, properly protected. Your household, if something were to happen to you, how is it going to continue to produce revenue if there's no income coming in? So let's say you're working and if something happens to you, what's going to happen to your income? Your income is going to stop unless you have a business or unless you have something that continues to produce that income. So this is where you look at things like life insurance and other protection structures to make sure you're properly protected. Having the right amounts of life insurance. There's so many people who pass away without the right kinds or without the right amount of life insurance, and the family lifestyle goes down. The family's livelihood goes down. Because why? An income earner was there. They're gone. You can't replace the person. What you can replace is the income the person was producing. That's one of the biggest areas, one of the biggest problems that a lot of people have is they are underinsured. Even when they go through the trouble of getting life insurance, they get it in place, oftentimes they have too little amount of life insurance. A good rule of thumb to have at least 10 times your income in life insurance. So if you make $100,000 a year, you should have $1 million of life insurance. Okay? The reason for that is if you have 10 times your income in life insurance, you can at least leave half of your income to your family. So
I go for half though. I'm sorry. Let's do 100.
If you want to leave your full income to your family, you get 20 times. So if you make $100,000 a year, and then you have $2 million in life insurance, your family can easily live off $100,000 a year, drawing on that money without running out of money. That's what that'll produce. Okay, so just keep that in mind as a general rule of thumb. Of course, everybody's situation is different, but that is very workable. Having 10 times to 20 times your income in life insurance, which means as your income increases, if you don't have enough amount of insurance to keep up with that, you could be underinsured. You could be leaving your family at financial risk. Other ways to protect yourself, health insurance, other kinds of legal structures to make sure you're protected with your assets. Make sure you're properly protected. So that's building block number 4. Building block number 5, build wealth. There's many different ways to build wealth, and this is one of the areas where I find that people are the most uncertain. Because you're living in an economic system that wasn't designed necessarily by you, the individual. Maybe you got a job and you got your 401k. You didn't orchestrate the 401k. It just happened to be the thing that's offered to you at your job. You may not even know if it's the best thing for you or not, but that's the thing you offer, so that's what you use. And so this happens to millions and millions of Americans out there. They get offered a vehicle, and that becomes the default thing they're doing. And so that they're doing it because everybody else seems to be doing it, whether it's the right thing for them or not. So you have to look at what is the best way for you to build wealth. Some people stay away from the stock market and they do real estate. Some people love the stock market. Other people build wealth through their businesses. Whatever way you're going to build wealth, the things you need to be aware of is there's 3 big enemies against your wealth. There's 3 barriers, major barriers as you go to build wealth. Number 1, taxes. One of the biggest enemies of your wealth, taxes. Number 2 is inflation. As the money supply increases, it inflates. Cost of goods and services go up. Your money has to continue to grow every year just to keep up with the cost of things in society today. Your money has to grow. So it has to at least keep up with inflation. And then the third enemy of your wealth is market risk or market losses. So a lot of times people are invested in markets they don't really understand. So you may throw your money to Wall Street and not really understand exactly what they're doing with it. Or the market could crash and then you lose a bunch of your money just when you're getting ready to retire. These are 3 of the biggest enemies of your wealth. These are things to be aware of. You always got to ask, how is this financial vehicle going to help me handle taxes? How is it going to outpace inflation? And how is it going to protect me from major losses? How am I going to be protected? If you don't have those things answered, it means you're exposing yourself to major risks and it could throw away your building wealth plan. These are some of the enemies and pitfalls that people commonly fall into. They don't realize how much taxes they're going to pay. They don't realize and plan for the impact of inflation. And then most of them do not definitely protect themselves against losses. When you have a loss, you have a setback. When you have a setback, you not only lose money, you lose time. And you lose what that money would have earned for you had you not lost it in the first place. Think about that. So that's building block number 5. On to building block number 6, which is build legacy. So build legacy is you're All the things you're acquiring here, they have to be passed on to somebody else properly without the government interfering in all of your affairs. So how do you put the correct legal structure in place to make sure that whatever you want to happen does happen? So this is having legal things in place like having a will, having a trust, having a power of attorney, having an advanced healthcare directive. So you could leave assets into a trust for your children or grandchildren or for your spouse. And you can put certain restrictions on there to make sure it goes to who you want it to go to in the proper fashion without the government reaching in and making all your affairs public or taxing you exorbitantly just because you became successful in America. So one of the areas that people go wrong is, one, they do not have a plan. And even if they have a will or a trust, they haven't looked at it in many, many years. Maybe you set it up 10 years ago, you don't even know what's in it. And so you put it in a drawer somewhere, okay, my trust is set up, but my will is done. You can't tell, most people can't tell you what's in their estate plan. They can't tell you what's in their will. They can't tell you what their trust says. Why? How can you own something that's part of your legacy and not know what it says or what it's supposed to do, how it's supposed to flow? So the big mistake there is people are not keeping their estate plan updated. They're not checking to make sure they know what's in there, and they're not letting their beneficiaries know that they have a plan in place so that if anything happens to them, there's continuation, there's continuity of their plans and their finances. These are things you want to have in place, and you want to make sure you have these things all working together. These 6 areas work together to help you build an unbreakable financial house.
So if you like this video, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out our other resources to see how you can learn more.